was 8 years old. The first time my parents told me that I should try to lose weight. 8 years old! And my confidence shattered past repair. I remember being so mortified that I was the fat girl. And I can honestly say that those feelings have stayed with me for the past 13 years of my life, because I'm still the fat girl. After countless diets and multiple appointments with various specialists and dietitians who were supposed to try to fix me. I don't think that I was ever truly bullied, but every small comment still resonates in my head. And some nights, it brings me to tears. The boy in 4th grade telling me to go eat myself because I eat everything else. In 9th grade, the blocked number that called and called and called before finally leaving me a voicemail telling me I was a useless whale who was probably too busy eating donuts to pick up the phone. When in reality, I was attending Christmas Eve Mass with my family. My first year here at ND, when outside of South Dining Hall, a cute older boy literally nudged his friends, pointed directly at me, and all of them laughed. My mom telling me an outfit doesn't look good when I just want to dress like other girls my age. My dad telling me on many occasions that I could definitely afford to skip a few meals. I don't know if these things are true or not, but they're true in my head. They still hurt like hell, but the real pain comes from the things that go unspoken. Maybe as realities, or maybe just figments of my own insecurity. My weight is why I have struggled socially. It's why I've never had a boyfriend, or been asked to go to a prom, or a formal, or an SYR. It's why I lay in bed and cry more often than not after going out. It's why I repeatedly watch my friends get hit on while I'm treated like I'm invisible. People do not even take the time to get to know me because they draw assumptions based on how I look. I wish that I could change these things, but I can't. Especially when people don't see me for who I am. I am a 21-year-old girl, not a woman, because I'm not ready to grow up yet, I want to change the world. I want to teach in areas where children aren't taught. I love to sing off key until my roommate begs me to stop. I love leaving little things for my friends that I know will make them happy. I read as much as I can. I'm also addicted to MTV reality shows. I've been told that I care too deeply and too easily. But I bet that most of you who've seen me around probably don't know any of those things. Because if you gave me a single thought, it was probably about my imperfect body. And at the end of the day, when I think about how society sees things, my two biggest flaws are my lack of confidence and that I'm fat. And if you don't think that that's a flaw, ask any young girl. She'll tell you, being fat is one of the worst things that you can be. Which leads me to this parting thought for you. Why and how is it okay for our society to say that someone's appearance can make them a better or worse person than their personality does.
I am not who I seem to be. I'll just say it. I'm transgender. I have the body of a boy, but inside, I'm a girl. It's complicated. When people think of someone who's transgender, they think of some old dude wearing bad makeup impersonating Marilyn Monroe on the weekends. That's not me. I'm a poet. I love Jane Austen. I like to dance and smile. I want to be called beautiful. My soul is simple and pure, like a small clear gem. And I think my soul is beautiful. The thing is, it's taken me a long time to get here, because my entire life I've felt this deep shame about who I am. I felt like everything that came naturally to my spirit was somehow bad and insufficient. I'm carefree and hopeful. No, I must be competitive and pragmatic. I'm compassionate and empathetic. But no, I must be self-sufficient and logical. I wanted to ask for leather boots for Christmas, and instead I asked for aftershave. Our society demands that I fit into these ridiculous boxes of masculinity and femininity. I have male junk in between my legs, and therefore I have to dress a certain way, and act a certain way, and smile a certain way, and express love in a certain way. I'm not saying I have a problem with gender roles. The great dance between the yin and the yang of the universe is breathtakingly beautiful. What troubles me is that I'm automatically not allowed to join this dance because I'm different. I'm sorry. I just don't feel like a dude. My emotions, my paradigm, my self-image, my everything feels female. What do you want me to do about it? Be a lie?
Last night, I dreamt in black and white. But the world looked nothing like an old romantic film. The ceiling tiles were like squares on a checkerboard. The freckles on my hands stood out like spots on the palms of a Dalmatian. The world wasn't whimsical. It was shocking, frightening, disorienting. I felt like Alice lost in a not-so-wonderful land. In the dream, I sat on an operating table, awaiting a physical. My body was to be examined for imperfections in beauty, height, weight, intelligence, hearing, and sight, with a separate physician for each checkup. But the physicians weren't doctors. They were my family and friends. First came my father. He scanned me head to toe. No pass, he said. Not tall enough. The next checkup, beauty, was measured by my boyfriend. His diagnosis was short and quick. Not beautiful enough. Then came my professor, my best friend, and my mom. Not smart enough. Not thin enough. Not listening enough. Not enough. Not enough. I was never enough. But my worst diagnosis was my sight. Fail. Completely blind. According to the doctor, I couldn't see at all, but the world was so striking, so real, so vivid, was my universe of black and white. You're wrong! That's impossible. To prove the accuracy of her diagnosis, she had me look into a mirror. See for yourself. But when I looked into the glass, there was nothing there to stare back at me. She said, "There's your proof. You can't even see yourself." When I woke up, the dream didn't end. The world was just in color.
We say race doesn't matter, that it shouldn't, that no one should focus on the exterior. It's what's on the inside. It's what counts. Bullshit! Then tell me why you put on makeup this morning. Why did you smear your eyelids with black coal and iron out your hair? Why did you powder your skin? Cosmetics is a billion-dollar industry. It feeds on your insecurity, so you buy up the items that preaches will make you more beautiful, desired, craved. The item for dark skin, bleacher. The item for black hair is relaxer, but only because my hair is tense about the feelings of apathy towards it. Race is not an issue? What are you talking about? We are built on a hierarchy of stratified exteriors. Check Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all surface level interactions, so why not look good? We fit in better like that anyhow. We'd rather look good than have political opinions. Makes sense. Talking about what's going on in Syria is not a very good party starter. You can't fuck a degree. It's funny. I see black people walking with hair so straight, you think it never kinks. Some hair doesn't even belong to people. I'm not saying you don't have a choice over what to do with your own hair, but I am saying be conscious of your choices. Relearn the history of your thick Afro funk. Appreciate every tangle as a marking of history, of where we come from and what we survived. Your hair says something about you. Be conscious of your choices.
Race is not an issue.
Then why does Beyonce look white on L'Oreal adverts?
Race is not an issue.
I'll tell you why. It's because we're taught that black is ugly. And it is. Look at it. It's like I've been charcoaled. But let me tell you something. Black is only ugly because beauty is owned by white people. How many cosmetic companies and designer labels have black CEOs? Even companies which produce relaxants and weaves are largely white-owned. So, we're being sold white beauty even by black-marketed brands. We will never get over the color of our skin. if we don't refuse to swallow the cosmetic standard set by one subset of society. Start questioning your ideas of beauty.
I can't tell you how many times I've told people from back home that I go to Notre Dame, and their response has been, I love Notre Dame football. Or, I went there once for a football game. Or, how do you think the team's going to do this year? There's a part of me that fiercely hates football. I'm an athlete too, but because I am a woman, no one cares. I follow exactly the same NCAA rules the football team does. I put in the same number of hours into my training. My team is ranked higher nationally. We have no issues with drug or rape scandals, and our grades are higher. And yet, on Saturdays in the fall, I see thousands of people flocking to campus for football games. When it's my turn to compete, I'm lucky if my parents show up. If my team is about to do a time trial and the football team decides they need to use our facility to do their warm-up, they have the right to kick us out and make us wait for them. We're second-class citizens. One time, in the middle of a conditioning session, I needed to use a tampon. I went to the medical room where all the training supplies are kept, and they said, sorry, we don't keep tampons here. I couldn't believe it. It honestly never occurred to you that one of the 300 or so female athletes on campus might need a tampon. You have an MRI machine, but no tampons? I'm not going to take what I have for granted. If I had gone to Notre Dame 30 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to be an athlete at all. We've come a long way. But men's and women's sports still can't be called anything that resembles equal. I've had male classmates tell me that the only virtue in watching women's sports is so they can look at our asses. They think I run for an hour to make myself skinny, do some half-ass sit-ups, and then play a few games. And in return, the school piles benefits and scholarships and free clothes on me. In reality, while the rest of you are sleeping, I'm lifting weights that are heavier than my own body and doing push-ups in a puddle of my own sweat. I train 12 times a week, and I am in pain more often than not. And don't forget, I've got homework. My scholarship is my work study, and if I fail to perform up to a certain standard, I lose my job. I am a slave. I sold my body for financial aid. So why do I still compete? Does my love of the sport make it worth it? Do I do it simply because it's expected of me? Or because I'm stubborn? Well, maybe that's part of it. But mostly, I'm holding out for the day long after I'm retired from my sport, when we're equal. Ugh! May the best athlete always win. Simone, I like your hair.
I can just remember sitting in the salon chair, stomach aching, regretting having my mom drop me off at the hair salon by myself. I'm a grown woman, and I can handle this. But it would have been nice to have some support, someone to tell me I wasn't crazy, and when it was all over, say I looked beautiful. Just days before, a family friend responded to my decision to cut my hair with a delightful variation of, ugh, ew. And you're gonna look ugly. You can guess why I decided not to tell many people beforehand. Comments like, now you can wear more makeup, led me to believe that by cutting my hair, I would have to make up for the beauty and femininity I had lost. I was sick of all the opinions. I'm sorry. I believe this was a personal decision, not a public one. Are you ready? I didn't realize I'd been closing my eyes the whole time. I almost didn't even want a part of the whole process. Like, my backstory could be that some woman attacked me, chopped off all my hair in my sleep, and I just had no say in it. Unfortunately, I realized consent was necessary for her to do her job, and my eyes would have to be open for the whole ride. Are you ready? Yes. She takes the scissors and begins to cut. Not little clippings, I'm talking big, huge chunks. I wanted to cry and scream, stop! Stop! What the hell are you doing, woman? I felt as if someone was sawing off my arm. I checked the ground to see if there was any blood, to explain all the hurt. Nothing but chunks of dull, black, straight hair. I shut my eyes closed. Worry and fear built up in me. Have I made a mistake? Will I still be pretty or attractive? Hell, will I still get married? My mind was swirling with all sorts of questions I knew were bizarre. I felt as if someone had cut and stripped me of my beauty and my confidence. I took a few deep breaths, and I opened my eyes. It was surreal. It was as if I saw myself for the first time in 20 years. And I was looking pretty good. I touched the soft little tight coils that sprang upwards in all directions. In the back, I could feel the cotton-like patches that thickened my crown. I was experiencing the unique characteristic of my hair for the first time after years of chemical straightening and flat ironing to match a societal ideal of beauty. I thought, this is who I really am. Honestly, it took me a long time to accept and love the new woman I saw in the mirror. But every day, I grow and embrace my true self and beauty more. My beauty is like no other. And so is yours.